Good morning. I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal, alongside my right-hand man, my wheel and teal, Mr. Sean Krofsick. Shawnee, we're sweating out the Red Sox game right now. It's late Friday night. We've tried putting off this filming to see if the Red Sox can wrap up Game 1, but I think we should just get to the show because that's killing me. And the game we had in New Britain tonight was just crazy good, and we got to get to it, kid.
Yes.
Southington Blue Knights, New Britain Golden Hurricanes, the only game in town for our local teams, and what a game it was. Is it a spoiler alert? No, we don't have to spoil anything. So people have already been reading our stories. They know Southington comes back to win this game 27-24. Veterans Stadium. They were down 18-7 at half, 18-7 at the end of the third. They scored 3 touchdowns. Shawnee, take the folks through it because the last touchdown came after New Britain retook the lead very, very late.
Yes, that fourth quarter, like you said, they were down 18-7. Jacob Drina finds Jordan Lamson 16 yards. Then Drina finds Jacob Flynn 21-18. Southington goes on top. Then New Britain scores Tanja Yap, a 15-yard touchdown run with 1:34 left. And New Britain went up 24-21. Southington goes right back down the field. Tana La Rosa, 4-yard touchdown run with 34 seconds left to win it. And that was his second touchdown of the game. Will Downs also had a big interception in the second half and 3 big catches in the fourth quarter.
This is true. Yeah, the offense was huge for Southington in the fourth quarter. After really struggling for 3 quarters of the game, they really couldn't get the passing game going. And, New Britain was a tough matchup for them. Southington struggled against New Britain's running game. Yap at quarterback, Sean Robinson at running back. What hips this kid has, man. What moves. Really, he's got that lateral movement and very hard to take down. But I'll tell you, there were 2 big defensive plays for Southington in the third quarter. Again, it's an 18-7 game at halftime. Big touchdown for New Britain just before half, a touchdown pass from Yap. Makes it 18-7. And then New Britain takes the opening kickoff of the third quarter, and they got the ball for virtually the whole quarter. They drive inside the 10. They get down inside the 5. Third down at about the 3. And defensive end John Miller, remember this kid's name because he is very good. I liked watching John Miller play ball tonight. He's very good. Good lateral pursuit down the line. He brought Yap down, held him to no gain on third down. New Britain had a penalty before the next snap, put him back to the 8. And that's where they turned it over on down. So that was a big stop for Southington because New Britain punches that one in there. It's probably lights out. So big player for you, John Miller. We definitely noticed that play. And then, of course, the interception by Will Downs. Very athletic kid. Pass over the middle, and Will went up there. He went higher. He was up here. He was even higher. Will was way up there. Big interception, and that's the one that led to Southington's second touchdown, the first one in the third quarter. And so even on a night where Southington's defense struggled against that New Britain run, New Britain ran for almost 300 yards. There really was 2 defensive plays that got things going, and then Jacob Drina in the Southington offense just, boom, turned it on in the fourth quarter, Shawnee. Yeah. And there you go. The Blue Knights are 5-0, hand New Britain their first loss. It's Southington's 10th win in a row over New Britain, but I'll tell you, kid, the place was very full, especially on the New Britain side and around the fence there around the field. It felt like the old Southington New Britain games from 15 years ago when Jude Kelly was coaching Southington and Captain Jack Cochran was over at New Britain, and it was just intense games. It was a lot like that, and it was good to see, man.
Yeah, the rivalry is back.
The rivalry is back. For now, though, Southington continues to own it. Like I say, 10th win, 13th win in the last 14 years for Southington, but whoo-wee! This wasn't one of these blowouts that have been happening over the past 5-6 years. Coach Bucky Jones has a really good team over there. They have just one loss. No reason not to think New Britain can't be in the Class AA playoffs. As far as Southington, this one will go a long way for them to get back into the Class L dance after missing it last year. That's for sure. And it was also good to see Mike Drury's son, George, there. He got in the post-game celebration huddle.
Very cool.
Young George getting in on the act. Big win for the Blue Knights. What a treat. The fans and the team, certainly something to cherish. Southington has the bye next week while all the other teams come back into action. Okay, moving off the gridiron and on to the volleyball court, Shawnee. We're going to volleyball. Wednesday was a big, busy night. Rivalry night. We had the match in Meriden, Platt Maloney. We had a match down in Wallingford, Sheehan and Lyman Hall. We had Sheehan and get some revenge on Lyman Hall, 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Musso, big night for Sheehan. You were at the Maloney Platt match, and that one went the way of?
Maloney, 3-0. This was electric over at Platt High School. It was a night of major runs. We see that a lot in volleyball, but this was kind of extreme. Maloney would end up winning 26-24, 25-22, 25-22. That first game, Maloney looked like they were going to run away with it, 19-14, and all of a sudden, Caitlin Hart goes behind the serving line, 10 straight points. Then Platt goes up. Maloney responds with the 7-0 run. Grace Antrella had a couple aces to seal it. Shanice Smith had a big block there for Maloney, and that was a big game one. And then game two, Maloney used that momentum. They went up 15-8, and all of a sudden Platt rebounded again, tied it up 21-21, and then it was all Maloney to finish it off. It was quite a night there. Madison Clancy, 7 kills, 8 digs. Layla Martinez, 7 kills, and Brooke Lath, 4 kills. But for Platt, it was Caitlin Hart. She was great.
And this Antrella girl, so it seems like when she made her major contributions, it was at the most critical times.
Yeah. No, she came up big when they really needed it.
All right. Same can be said for Emily Musso and for the Sheehan Titans. Interesting move by Coach Victoria Speranza. Now, last year when Vic took over, she moved Emily from outside hitter to libero, defensive specialist. Yeah. And Musso is such a good volleyball player. She responds with an all-record journal season. And she was back at libero to start this season, but they needed more firepower up front. So Victoria moves her back up to outside hitter, and that really seems to be the catalyst that has turned things around for a very young Sheehan team.
Yeah, I saw the first meeting between the two, and Sheehan, they were not clicking at all. Speranza made it. That was a great move. Mm-hmm. And Musso responded, 17 kills. That was a big showing there as Sheehan reversed it on Lyman Hall, won 3-1. So both teams are 5-6 now. Lyman Hall was led by Haley Bruno, 12 kills, 11 digs, and Nicole Albert had 5 aces and 18 assists. So a lot of familiar names there in that Wallingford matchup.
Big night for Haley Bruno, double there. Yeah. We're going to move over to soccer because it was also a rivalry week in soccer. Platt Maloney, Sheehan Lyman Hall, lo and behold, doubles on Monday, Shawnee. Yes. Unbelievable, kid. Unbelievable. You were up at Falcon Field for the Maloney and Platt matches. Scoreless girls game, yes. Boys game. Maloney takes charge 4-0.
Yes. The opener, it was a battle of the goalies. Charlotte Vega was impressive. 2 sophomores, Charlotte Vega in the goal for Platt, and Abby Lespier, a familiar name.
Our Athlete of the Week winner.
Yes. They both had shutouts. Both sides had a few chances. Maloney did have the best of it. Mackenzie McCormick had a couple real good looks, and Lizzie Garlick had a couple of good shots for Platt. But this was all about defense in that matchup. As far as the boys, Dennis Blandon, 2 goals. Maloney won 4-0. Lamar Thaxter had a goal and an assist. Ben Pierce came off of an injury with a goal, and Alex Torres had an assist. Devin Wan had only faced 1 shot for the shutout. Cam Germany was busy in net for Platt, performed well. That was a fun night up at Falcon Field.
Yeah, right. And of course, down in Wallingford, the boys' game ends in a 1-1 tie after this crazy girls' game. Talk about back and forth, Shawnee, if you want to bring us through the girls' game, because Sheehan looks like they have it wrapped up, and it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, I believe they had a 3-0 lead.
Yes.
Julia Blanchard scores a pair of goals for Lyman Hall. They tie the game with a minute to go, and then Olivia Dubik, she's dynamite. She scored with 38 seconds to go to put Sheehan back on top. She had the decisive goal the week before. She is a scoring machine. Sheehan's now 4-3-1, and Lyman Hall is 0-8, but they are better than what their record reflects.
I like your alliteration there, Shawnee. Dubik is dynamite. I'm going to steal that for a headline one of these days, perhaps. Yeah, but she certainly is. You know, she's a good track runner, soccer player, and she's been a good one since her freshman year. She's only a junior for the Sheehan Titans. Obviously, you know, she had come out of the game earlier, and Coach Rob Uelsman puts her back in, and she just, scores a winning goal. So then in the boys' game, a lower-scoring affair that winds up deadlocked.
Yes, Lyman Hall was leading for much of the game. Tyler Stoic had a first-half goal off of a free kick in the 29th minute. And then the game was tied with 9:28 left in the second half by Tyler Jasinski. Ryan Carey had the assist. Lyman Hall's 1-4-4. Sheehan is 3-3-1.
The obvious pun here with the 1-1 tie, in which goals were scored by two boys named Tyler is, well, need it be said. All right, listen, also this week, Spence got out to the Southington Northwest Catholic game, and as the highlights roll, we're going to let him go. There's actually no scoring in this game. But one thing I do want to point out as folks are watching this, we led off with the Southington New Britain football game, and now we're going through volleyball and soccer. Shawnee, next week we're going to shift it up a little bit. We're going to go with the football show and keep that Friday for Saturday, and we're going to go with the non-football sports intermittently through the week, just to make things fresher. We had the soccer doubleheaders on Monday, so, we're going to start running shows here and there during the week. It's always good to be flexible, such as Mr. John Griffin for Southington Soccer, who's pretty flexible in net with yet another shutout.
Yeah, 4 saves in the shutout. And Southington, 2-4-2. Northwest falls to 0-5-1. And a clean sheet for John Griffin.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's filling big shoes, replacing Evan Dodona, who's now up at the University of Hartford. All right, on that note, we are the boys in teal here. Sean tells me that we're wearing teal. I had no idea. I had to ask my wife. And according to her, this isn't quite teal, but she's picky that way. Anyways, I am Brian Carpenter, the sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal, alongside my right-hand man, Mr. Sean Krosick, Spencer Davis Group. We are the Spencer Davis Group. Spencer's behind the camera. This has been This Week in High School Sports. Like we say, Matt, be tuning in, be looking sharp, because we're going to bring in shows left, right, and right down the middle as usual on Saturdays starting next week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Be good.